Oh, people who do that thing on the street as well. Dustman's blow. Still, I mean, who does that? I always, if I see someone like just jogging, right, and they do a dustman's blow, I always go, me. Like, hope they hear it. So I've seen someone see it, like, now. Get it on. T-Rex with the great Mark Bolan. How are you? If emotions are the product of biochemical reactions, then in the future we will be theoretically able to control them. Well, yeah. If we could control emotions through technology, should we? Well, we do really, don't we? If it's your own and it's up to you and you don't want to feel a certain way, I mean, we do have things like that, don't we? Sort of antidepressants and some. I'm not a doctor, but I think some mental illnesses are, well, everything's physical, but you know what I mean? Some of them are chemical imbalances, aren't they? I'm guessing here. I don't know. I don't. But yeah, I mean, it's not always a bad thing, isn't it? It depends, doesn't it? If you, I don't know why you take them to never feel happy again. That'd be a bit weird. So it depends. There's good and bad. There's good and bad science. Good science. Oh, chemotherapy. Good science. Well done. Bad science. Frankenstein. So it depends, doesn't it? I mean, that was quite a good question. But the only reason I didn't take it seriously is it comes to the point, it's a dog, right, asking me. That's I suddenly realised the absurdity of this. If this was a doctor, you know, and an environmental biologist and a psychiatrist, they're going, well, yeah, it's a good point, right? And it was a human. No, but a dog asking me, it's absurd. Talking of which, here's Rupert, the dog. Here we go. This is Rupert's question. You've woken up in a dark cave. Okay, let's see if that's relevant. Why he's setting the story. Let's see if this was needed. Let's see if we could cut down any of this question. Okay, you've woken up in a dark cave. As your eyes adjust to the surroundings, you smell incense. Wow. Why am I in a fucking dark cave? And why have I had a little snooze? It's the question, right? Why did I go to a dark cave to have a little snooze, Rupert? You little fat sausage. You've woken up in a dark cave. As your eyes adjust to the surroundings, you smell incense. You follow the smell. I would. I'd assume I was looking for some sort of, it was like a yoga class or a record shop in the late 70s. If I smell incense, it's either a record shop or a cool clothes shop, right? Or my next door neighbour's lodger is smoking dope, and that's what he's trying to hide. Okay, you've woken up in a dark cave. As your eyes adjust to the surroundings, you smell incense. You follow the smell to the corner of the cave, right? And lo and behold, there is Jesus sitting cross-legged, right? Right. What 3 questions do you ask him? Right. That could have been, if Jesus was real, what would you ask him? But no. Why am I waking up in a cave and smelling joss sticks? Right. Okay. Sitting cross-legged. Is that how I know it's Jesus? And not just... Why don't I think it's just some homeless guy sitting in a cave? And he'd go, what are you doing here? It's my cave. I go, sorry, I don't know. I had a lot to drink last night, and I don't know what happened. Remember you came in? I go, did I? He goes, yeah. Then you on my bag of clothes. I go, oh, sorry, mate. Then you said summer, and you insulted me, and you fell asleep. I go, sorry, mate. It won't happen again. They go, no, it won't happen again because I've got to move because it stinks, isn't it? Why do I know it? I just know it's Jesus, do I? I just know it's Jesus. Do I accept it? Of course I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept it. I would go, if he said, if he had ID, oh, geez, I go, no, you're mental. Okay, what three questions would I ask you? Right, why are you in a cave? How did I get here? What's the point? What are you doing? What are we to learn from this? It's ridiculous. Oh God. What was it like living in the Bible? What was that like? Ollie comic strip. Having written children's books, started a game show with kids and produced a children's film, would you ever consider creating a TV series for children? Well, yeah, maybe. It's not my. I don't know why. There's better people better. I don't know why I do that. It's not my sort of thing, really. But having said that, some of the things I do, like even stuff like I think the invention of lion was rated 13, and that was, I'd like to do something with Flanimals. I definitely would like to. I think an animation, like a weird, that SpongeBob vibe, just mental for kids and adults. That's what I'd like to do. Yeah, that's what I'd like to do. But I can't be bothered to do anything. I like doing this because there's absolutely no work involved. Just me sitting down with a beer that I'd be doing anyway, and I'm saying things out loud as opposed to just thinking them. See, if you want to do this, this is me usually from 6 till 6:30. Just thinking shit like that. And here, I just say it out loud. Nancy says, have you ever wished you were born the opposite sex? If so, why? I haven't. Do I still have to answer the why? Like, I assume that was if I have, why? But if I say no, have I got to say why? I can't think of any reason other than you don't do it. You just don't. I don't think I've ever thought like that. I like using the urinal. It's convenient. We can go anywhere. We can go up against a tree, can't we? That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that's the only advantage of being a man. Also, let's not forget women are the most oppressed group. You go anywhere in history, much better off being a bloke. Sorry, true. Oh God, there's another one. Stonewall Rockhaven, if that is his real name. You are standing before St. Peter at the pearly gates, and he says you have one more life on earth, but as a dog. Fine. What breed would you choose to be? Well, the first thing I thought of was like a bulldog because I'd be used to the sort of breathing and the length of legs. I'd be used to what it was like sort of walking uphill. I mean, I just don't think you can go wrong with like being a golden retriever. Nice dog, nice owner. You know what I mean? It feels like that would be a good life. If I was everyone goes, they're nice. People are nice around them. No one's scared of a golden retriever. If a golden retriever comes running towards you, you don't go, oh fuck. You know what I mean? You know it's going to come up and sort of like sit on your foot or lick your leg or something. So yeah, can't go wrong with a Labrador golden retriever. Louisa Core says, my down-to-earth question is, are you painting more? I'm not. If so, what do you paint? And can we see any artworks? No. It's so funny. I was thinking I'll get some canvases, and I just didn't bother, and then it happened. But I haven't been painting. No, I don't know why. I've been filling my days. I've been doing more working out and sport. I've been writing as much, but no, I haven't been painting. What do I paint? I almost exclusively paint sort of abstract stuff now. I mean, that hides the fact that I haven't got enough skill, and it's I like it more as well. I do like abstract. In fact, if there's a great painting but it's got a person in it or a face, I go, oh, get that out. I don't want that on the wall. I don't even know who's that. You know what I mean? I want swirling sort of. I mean, Turner, it was figurative, but he managed to. His colours were great. Turner colours, abstract. I like some portrait stuff. Rembrandt clicked. All his backgrounds were black, and it was great. It was drama. It wasn't the sort of people going like that, painting themselves like that. Themselves like that. So yeah, but yeah, I can only do real abstracts. Scapes, I like. I like scapes, skies and buildings and things like that. Joey, again, starts off the question. The question starts off with a premise, a fact, right? When you die, someone's going to resurrect you. In your new life. No, they're not, Joey. They're not. They're not. Because that's mental. When you die, someone's going to resurrect you. I'd be furious. I'd be absolutely furious. But all right, what are you doing? You're alive. You right. When you die, someone's going to resurrect you. In your new life, you must live the life of a character from any of your shows. Whose do you choose? Oh, is it like a new life? Oh, okay. So it's not me coming back still shitting myself and in pain the way I died at 83 in a bath chair, right? I'm someone else. I live a like where I go. Who has the most fun? Derek always springs to mind. I think Derek, yeah. Is it one of my characters that I played or anyone's? I still think it's Derek. I think I'd be Derek. Can't go wrong. Claire says, if Room 101 was real and you could actually get rid of 3 things from life that irritate you, what would those 3? Seriously, 3 is not enough. If I started listing things that I'm assuming these aren't the big serious things. You wouldn't say fascism, famine, and cancer. They irritate me, right? I assume you mean not big, like foibles and habits and like people sniffing. Yeah, I assume you mean those little trivial things that drive me mental. Yeah, you can't have general stupidity. Just what would I ban? So if it's not the big things, people who do that thing on the street as well, dustman's blow. Still, I mean, who does that? I always, if I see someone like just jogging, right, and they do a dustman's blow, I always go, F me. Like, hope they hear it. So I've seen someone see it, like, F now. Yeah, noisy eaters. What else would there be? Who's being late? So much fuzzy thinking and just general etiquette and people not knowing they're annoying. It's so funny. I was thinking that if a dog comes over and jumps up at me, I was a little dog and tore my t-shirt, and I just if a person did that, I'd go, you stupid idiot, you owe me a t-shirt, you clumsy twat, cut your toenails, you moron. But a dog does that, I go, oh look. Imagine a person running along just jumping on my lap. I'd punch him in the face. But if a cat does it or a dog, I go, oh, he's on my lap. Same with eating. If a dog's going, I'm going, oh, look, he's enjoying that. If I see a bloke doing that, again, I want to just drag him out of the restaurant by his neck. So, there's a list of things that annoy me. I told you about the time we were in this lovely restaurant. It was just us, right? An early lunch in San Francisco, and it was on the bay. And we were looking out. There was a seal and a pelican, and the waiter was great. And then the busboy kept coming out of the kitchen, standing, looking right, and he kept going. And honestly, every time he did it, I was just waiting for it to happen. And Jane was going, just forget it. I was going, oh my God. And then I just hear it in the distance. I go, like that, just to myself. It is the mental case. Good. People keep saying, play the guitar. I'll say hello to some of you. I'm going to be, hi Richard. Evening from the Cowsey. The Cowsey is the place, it's Cows Hill, where I used to live in Whitley. That's funny. Was Derek based off someone? No, it wasn't based on anyone I knew really. I hope you had a mask on. Oh, this was years ago. Misophobia. That's misophobia, is it? When you're noisy eaters and breathing. Well, thanks everyone. Oh yeah, people keep saying play a bit of Brent's song. I don't know why. You can just download them. What do you want me doing it for? It's not as good as a recording, is it? Or is it just me? Is it like it's live? Is that fun? Sold my shack in Memphis, bought me a Chevrolet, 6-string in the back and a bottle of Jack, and I headed down to Mexico way, singing ooh la la la, ooh la 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 lay, ooh la 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 la. It's a beautiful day, oh, it's a beautiful day. Yeah, it's a beautiful day. There you go. You can buy that on iTunes. Get the album. This is free. Please play as a song. I just did. Or am I behind? Okay, well, thank you very much. Let's do this again. Thanks for tuning in. But have a nice week and be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye. Queen. Somebody to love. I think that's my favourite one of theirs. How are you? Fair enough. Don't know where you are, but it was warm here in London. 30 degrees again. So yeah. Hope it was nice where you are. I hope you like that. I hope you like hot weather. Hi from Hollywood. Right, you can come in handy. I haven't got an Emmy campaign. I did ask for some questions before I get onto that. Right, okay, this usually kicks it off, doesn't it? And sort of gives us some sort of structure. Jamie Redknapp, hello. Right. Justice for Gabby says, who's the funniest person you've worked with? Oh, it's David Earl. Overall, I just think, as Kev in Derek, some impossible scenes. That if there's a scene, and this has never happened before, that we couldn't finish it. I couldn't do it because it was too funny. It didn't end up in the show. I don't just mean an outtake. I mean a scene that we couldn't do. It's Kev telling Derek how he gets Janice into the caravan. Right, look it up on YouTube. And in Afterlife, I mean, he's not in Afterlife much. He's going to be in it a bit more in the third season. But just to be opposite him, and his nervous tics and everything. Yeah, God. United Mika asked, what's my favourite gig? Oh, no, that's tough. That's tough because I've seen so many. I was a promoter at a venue for like 5 years, and I saw 3 gigs a night. And I mean, you know, bands like Suede, Radiohead, Pearl Jam, Spin Doctors, you know, the Pogues. I've seen Bowie, Elton John, Rod Stewart, Oasis. I think Kate Bush at Hammersmith. It was just magical. Because I've loved her stuff for so long and she doesn't do a lot. She's not out and about. She hasn't said something stupid on Twitter. You know what I mean? It's like she's an enigma and a recluse and And so to see those songs done so theatrically and so beautifully, and she didn't play like arenas. She played a theatre for like 8 weeks, so she could work on the production. So it was amazing. Also, again, because of the sort of, it was quite magical. We saw James Taylor in a little theatre in Oslo. I was there gigging, and we went to see him at this little theatre and met him afterwards, and that was pretty amazing. So yeah, I'd say Kate Bush. Lee Millard, your favourite episodes of The Office, Derek, and Afterlife? Office, first thought is Training Day, season 1. Red Nose Day at 5, season 2. That's funnier. That is funnier, I think. And it's got the dance. It's pure fun and tragedy. But I'll go for Training Day at 4, season 1. It's got my favourite line. I think there's been a rape up there, and I wrote Free Love Freeway for it. And I'm proud of what it does. It does a lot. There's a lot happens in that episode, and that for The Office. Derek, oh God. Again, probably not the funniest episode. In fact, the saddest. The Ivor episode where Derek has to put the dog down. Well, and I love it when I love the special of Derek when Kev's in hospital and we see his 2 brothers and his mum and his dad. I mean, again, just pure funny, just ridiculous. It might be that one, yeah. Afterlife. That's the most difficult because it's so not episodic. It's like one long story. I don't know. It's like I don't know what it's like. I don't know. I don't think I could say. Although I always like the Ep 5s and 6 of Afterlife. I think it grows each series. I think everything gets better and better. So I'll go for Ep 5, series 2, with the Amdram performance, and that's got a bit of everything because that's got a lot of tragedy and sadness, and it's got pure funny. So Training Day in The Office, the special of Derek, and Ep 5, season 2 of Afterlife. Good question, that. Fiona, is Jane celebrating her badminton win? Yeah, that's rare, so it's even more gutting. So yes, I think she ran round the garden. It was hot. I mean, no excuses. I'd had a nap. I was a bit sluggish, so she had a nap. But I think the heat affects larger mammals, doesn't it? That's why the hippo spends a lot of its time in the water. Not only does it help its buoyancy, but it keeps it cool. Because I can reach ridiculous temperatures if exposed for a long time to sunlight. I wear black, right? So what happens with my biology that I get very I have to just slow down. No excuses. It'll never happen again. I'm like a little fat Michael Jordan. I can never lose again. If you could have had an appearance in one of these classic shows, which would you choose? Fawlty Towers, Open All Hours, Only Fools and Horses. Fawlty Towers, no doubt about it. It's, it's still untouchable. Yeah, I mean, they're all great. But yeah, I mean, it's not just brilliant. I think it's important. So yeah, Fawlty Towers. What's the most you ever spent on an item of clothing? Not a lot. I've got expensive items that that have been given to me or that I've got for hosting the Globes or something. £2,000, £3,000 suits and jackets just sat there. Well, I don't. What? I don't, why do I wear a suit once a year if I have to? I don't look good in a suit. I don't look good in anything. So why would I bother buying Armani suits? I look shit in everything, so I might as well have a 10 quid t-shirt and tracksuit bottoms. So I don't spend on clothes. I get most of my clothes sort of birthdays and Christmas. Get socks and pants. When I do a production, I keep a couple of t-shirts after that and shoes and trainers. I buy trainers that are quite good because I do a lot of running, so I do. But again, I don't know. What are they? 70 quid? See, there's no point. There's no point. The clothes doesn't do anything. I buy clothes that haven't been made in sweatshops, but I don't get it. I don't get it why people spend 300 quid on a t-shirt. I just don't get it. Why? Who cares? It doesn't do anything. If it was a bulletproof t-shirt, that'd be great. I'd like that. Or it did something. Do you know what I mean? It made you run fast. If there were trainers that made me run 40 miles an hour, yeah, I'd spend, I don't know, 100 grand. If it did something, a bat belt where I could shoot up, yeah. A jacket that, a cloak that made you invisible, a million pounds. Anything that made me fly, my entire wealth. If there was a helmet, a crash helmet with a propeller, right, that would just take me up, 5 million, £5 million. If it has to be guaranteed and last me a long time, but. It's like some cartoon, isn't it? I'd love that. So no, I don't spend any money on clothes. They're to hide my body, keep me warm, be comfortable. That's it. That's what clothes are for. Steve in London says, will you speak out in defence of free speech, particularly attacks on comedy? All the time. Yeah, that's the hill I die on. Freedom of speech is fundamental. You can't have a free society without it. It's good for everyone. It's a good system. Attacks on comedy, yeah, ludicrous. A lot of it's faux outrage. It's people owning each other now, innit? Wielding power. That sort of virtual signalling it's meaningless. It's when people pick up on things and they want to be, they're the ones that want to get credit for the hashtag. They want to be known as the person who, and it's pure. It gets ridiculous to the point where everyone wants a piece of it. So it's basically going, look at me. I'll pick up on the tiniest thing. That's how perfect I am. That's how brilliant. That's how brilliant and woke I am. That I don't, and they start eating their own because it's a form of sort of dogmatic purity where if they can't own the other side, they purify their own side to make them better. So yeah, it's ludicrous. Ignore it. Just ignore it. They can't. Just ignore it. Someone says, "Oh, you can't say that." I go, yeah, all right, yes, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, bye. Fuck 'em. Do you have misophonia? Oh, misophonia. Is that that's noisy eating, isn't it? Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. Oh God. Any noise annoys me now. Any unnecessary noise annoys me. I just want it stopped. I just want it stopped. But yeah, noisy eating. Oh, I got annoyed on the plane once. First class. This woman, right? She sort of got up from her seat and she went to the toilet, and she was just too tired. It was like she was just too. I was thinking, but it was like she was showing off, going, "Look how tired I am." How can that? Oh, anything annoys me. Someone typing had bangles on. Like typing it. Why do people have to type so loud on a? I don't make a noise when I type. Why are they doing that? They're going, "I'm a writer," or "I got an important meeting." No one has to type that loud. Just type, type like you're Anne Frank. Do you know what I mean? Just let's keep it quiet. Let's keep it quiet. Yeah, the worst one ever, right? It really ruined my day. We just had a walk around San Francisco, right? I was playing there a couple of years ago. It was just beautiful. Around the harbour and around it was great. And then we found this beautiful restaurant right out, like on the not a pier, but like a little thing that jutted out. And there was a pelican and there's a seal, and it had just opened. It was empty, and we got a window seat looking out over the bay, and a lovely waiter who said, who was talking to me, and he said, "Oh, he used to live in London." It was just like, it was amazing. And then every now and again, someone would come out with sort of like plates or something, like the busboy from the kitchen, and he'd stand there and sort of look around, and he'd do this. And the first time, I thought, "You're kidding, you're joking. This is a restaurant, right?" And I went, "Do you hear that?" And Jay went, "Yeah, but just ignore it, right?" No, what? So I can't be that guy that shouts at a little. I go, "Oh, mate, that's disgusting," right? YouTube, right? So I've got to sit there and take it, right? And every time he came out, it was inevitable. You know, it's that thing. It's like a sort of torture that he comes out. In the end, I was just doing this to make myself feel better, right? Just to myself, like that. Just to James going, "This is nice." So, yes, I have got, I don't know how to pronounce it. Misophonia? I don't know. Oh dear. Well, that was good, wasn't it? A few questions. It's got us. That got my blood boiling. Oh God. Oh yeah, I was gonna say the first one said hello from Hollywood. Yeah, it's like the Emmys, the Emmy voting next. Well, I've got no chance. I've got no chance. All the same shows are gonna be up at the big sort of network comedies and that. And Afterlife is like, people go, is that a comedy? There's no falling over or anything. No studio audience, and there's big film stars doing TV now, and so anyway, I think my best chance is comedy performance. I've done well in that. I think that's my most nominations for all my awards is performance, more than show, more than writing, directing, whatever. So that's my best shot. But Netflix aren't doing anything. They're not doing a campaign this year. I think because of the pandemic, they do the odd billboard and poster, but there's no one. There's no point. No one's in, or haven't been in cars or airports or anything. So yeah, I don't know who the Emmy voters are. They don't get sent screeners. It's just on Netflix. So if you know any, tell them to watch. Give me a vote, will you? Could you do my campaign for me? No point in doing it around the rest of the world. I think most of the Emmy voters are in LA. So if you could do a little campaign, do your own posters. But a little poster, like like in America, they have those things. Vote Romney, right, on their door, on their in their garden. Do that. People might think I'm running for president. That's all right, isn't it? Vote Ricky Gervais, Afterlife, Dear Emmys. You know what to do. Or that thing they did, that amazing thing they did, that run up to the White House, the Black Lives Matter. Could you do something like that for me? But in LA, could you? Oh dear. Do a campaign for me. Just in the Hollywood, LA area. If you know where any Emmy voters live, just do it outside their house. Is this illegal? No, you can do anything now. People are ripping down statues. People are going, yeah, whatever. So if you're allowed to rip down statues, you're allowed to put up a little poster, vote Ricky Gervais for an Emmy, aren't you? If you're walking around with a big poster and the police go, what are you doing with that? You can't. You go, look, there's someone ripping down. There's someone knocking down Mount Rushmore over there, and they go, oh yeah. Oh dear, I got no chance. But thanks for trying. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye. Hello. It's the most wonderful time of the year, so the song goes. We finished our work, we sit by the fire with friends and family and eat and drink way too much. But for some people, it could be one of the worst times of the year. People living rough, haven't got a home and friends and family, and they can't eat and drink as much as they like. So that's why I'm going to wrap this up and go and give it to a tramp. So, probably film it for Instagram so people know what a great bloke I am. Put some really sad music on it. See his little fucking face light up. Oh God. Dutch barn. Move on up. Why not? Good advice. Isn't it? If you had to choose one, would you A, never tell another joke in your life? That's impossible. That's impossible. Never taste alcohol again. Can I drink it and hold my nose? I think you mean never. I'll take that as never drink alcohol again. That's tough. Easier than the first one. Never travel beyond Hampstead or your house in the country. That's not that bad. The way honestly, even when I travel to places I really love, I wish they were down the road, or I could teleport myself. Just getting up and getting dressed. lose all memories of your career since 2001. No, that's the fun bit, isn't it? Looking back at stuff. You know you did a good job, and that's soon that's all you are, isn't it? Memories, when you can't actually do any of that shit anymore. I think I never go beyond Hampstead. That's fine. Unless something terrible happens to Hampstead, which I don't think it will. Hampstead is one of those places that sort of time forgot. Whatever's happening in the world, it's always okay in Hampstead. So I think it's got to be 3. Then I can tell jokes, drink alcohol, and remember stuff. Although the alcohol, I thought that would be a good advert for alcohol. Sort of like a play on words. Dutch Barn, it helps me forget. Because it does actually, it can affect your memory. I told you I do honest advertising. Just me sat in a bin like that. I drink vodka because it helps me forget. What? That. Imagine that in the Super Bowl, that advert. Me in a bin going, I drink vodka because it helps me forget. What? That. Just that. It cost 40 quid, that advert. Put it on Super Bowl. Well, it probably cost about $1 million to put on Super Bowl, but you know what I mean? They're already regretting giving me the company. If you were a cat like us, would you climb the Christmas tree? Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because if I was a cat like you, I'd be an idiot, wouldn't I? So I would climb the Christmas tree. Merry Christmas. That's not bad, is it? I'll do that. Drink Dutch Barn. Merry Christmas. There's an advert. Another one. It's that easy. It's that easy. And my cat, when I was little, Paddy, Big Tabby, a bit like Pickle, used to eat the lametta. You remember that sort of like stuff that you'd hang on Christmas trees that was like sort of tin foil? It would eat that and throw it up. So we just find these really sort of glamorous, shiny balls of vomit around the house. Liberace spew. Yeah, so I probably would climb the Christmas tree. Is there anyone you met professionally that has surprised you or been different to what you expected? David Bowie springs to mind, just because he was so innovative and I don't know, and he was like alien, and then you meet him and he's a normal bloke from South London. And he's really down to earth and funny, and he knows about stuff. He still knows what's going on. You know, you expect him to be sort of out of touch in some sort of weird lair. Yeah, just a bloke called Davy Jones. That's about it, really. Thanks for following. Yeah, be nice to animals. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.
I've gone on sort of like the opposite journey in that I feel like I started off atheistic just the same way that I would reject any attempt to impose regulation or control on me for the purposes of domination. And but like, as I've gone through my own stuff with addiction and mental health or whatever it is, and like I know that you're very that, for example, afterlife is about legitimate grief as opposed to some kind of abstract idea of mental illness brought about by hormonal or neurological balance. But myself, my own sense of despair, particularly looking at it from a perspective of mental health issues and addiction, is that there is an unaddressed yearning for a kind of oneness, togetherness, and like to your point earlier about Brent, indeed for love. And when like you talk about that sense of awe of like the appreciation of an animal, the love of an animal, and the sort of regard and gratitude for having an animal love you and care for you, or the beauty of nature, or the deep beauty of the cosmos. What I feel like, and my own appreciation, understanding, stroke belief in God is that there is a kind of, in the love of it, in the awareness of rightness itself, there is an indication that there is such a thing as rightness. Not that there any one particular group or ideology has unique, a particular and special access to it, and I really firmly, deeply believe that spirituality is for me, not for me to tell other people, boy, I don't reckon you should be gay, or I don't reckon you should be allowed to do it. Like, I feel like I do my shit.
In the Bible, it says you should pray secretly.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like there is something sort of deeply private about it. But I also think, Ricky, that there is a social consequence to I don't necessarily want to say atheism, because I completely agree with your point that there's good and bad, in like beyond those kind of limited taxonomies. But like I do feel like when people think there's no purpose or meaning, that and that needn't necessarily be just because of a belief in God, that it creates cultures that are oddly materialistic, nihilistic. And I feel like in the last 20 years we're seeing more and more worship of self, worship of individual.
Of course, there's a new narcissism, of course, and I don't know why. I think social media is partly to blame. I think people being rewarded for bad behaviour is partly to blame. Magazines or TV or whatever. I did a speech in the Big Brother house as Andy Millman in Extras, and again, that was at the beginning of it, and now it's got worse. But a couple of points. I do think there's people crave a oneness, even if we don't go about understanding about why we're here, because again, that's very human. We're inquisitive. We want to know why. We want the answer why, and some people don't accept. We don't know yet, but we're on the way. They got no. Well, there's no. The God of the gaps. We understand that. Well, if you don't know how to explain it, God did it. Okay, well, it doesn't really solve anything. Even down to the, I put a joke in Afterlife where Kath's bothering me, and she says, "Where did it all come from? Somewhat from nothing." And I go, "Well, where did it all come from then?" She goes, "God made it." I go, "Okay, where did God come from?" She went, "He's always been around." I go, "Simple as that, isn't it?" So, it doesn't answer the question, but I get it, and I think. Apart from people wanting there to be some sort of divine justice, because that would be great. Good people would be rewarded and bad people would be punished. Brilliant. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You only have to look at children in Africa being born with cancer, and we know that's not. We know mysterious ways isn't an explanation. Okay. That to me is someone who doesn't know the answer and says mysterious ways. But apart from that, you're right. We're seeking the answer. Why are we here? I think we think that. Hold on. Well, it's too good. It's too good to be chance. Everything's perfect. Well, it seems that way. It's like Douglas Adams' puddle. When it imagines this, I fit this hole perfectly. But I think. You're right. We are scared and alone, and the idea of death is horrible. What, you'll never exist again? What was the point? And again, I talk about this in Afterlife 1, where I say, Kath's saying that if you think it's there's no heaven, why don't you kill yourself? And I say, so if you're watching a really good film, but it's going to end, you might as well just stop it. She went, no, because I can watch it again.
And I say, I think that's the amazing thing about life. You can't watch it again. You know, one day you'll hug, you know, your mum for the last time. You'll smell your last flower. You'll eat your last meal. You won't know it's your last, but it will be your last. And so you've got to make the most of everything. And it is a terrifying prospect. It is like sad that we'll never exist again, I think. But it doesn't mean it's not true. You know, the bottom line is, I can't believe something I don't believe. And so how do I find meaning? Well, we are here. We are here. The chances of us being us, you being you and me being me, existing now, that sperm hitting that egg is 400 trillion to 1. You know, we're not special, but we are lucky. We do exist. It's incredible. And I think of it, it's like a holiday. We don't exist for 13.5 billion years. Then we explode into this mass, this electronic blob of thought, introspection, love, hate, fear, beauty, horror for 80, 90, 100 years if we're lucky. Then we die and we never exist again. We return, our atoms return, and it carries on, right? And that's not scary, because I think people are scared of death because they don't know what's beyond. And someone said to me, well, what do you think it feels like when you die? And I say, like the 13.5 billion years before I was born. And that was all right. So, but the big thing is injecting meaning. I think you're totally right. When you start thinking about it, why are we here? Well, I mean, not even the how, but why. Well, to live your life to the fullest and not hurt anyone, to leave the world in a better place than it was when you came into it, to experience everything, all the reasons, all the obvious reasons, you know, love, wine, dogs, learning, all these great things that you can do every minute of every day that you're alive. And then you check out. You go, I'm done, thanks. And it's done, and it's beautiful. It's fucking beautiful.
It is beautiful. But I was struck when you said that by a few things. One is like the sort of like the injection of meaning, as in, you know, like meaning would have to be imported externally, fabricated somehow, invented. Whereas I think on some level I feel that that meaning is inhered, and that the meaning is in the kind of zeal that you have when you describe the things that give you love, pleasure, you know, connection, whether it's wine or dogs or whatever. I've had like some experiences like through meditation, and when I took drugs too young, and now I'm not allowed to do ayahuasca or LSD or them things that I would definitely be doing if I wasn't in recovery. But I had like sort of these experiences that were a kind of, I would say, a sort of an evaporation of self and yet a continued awareness. I know that my consciousness is connected to my biology, but I have a sense somewhat derived from the sort of the fact that, you know, you can't trace how you know, mechanical parts ever become conscious, that consciousness may be elemental somehow. Now that doesn't point to a god in a traditional patriarchal or domineering sense, but it sort of points to an element that's very difficult to quantify, whether that's the deep intelligence of nature, the deep mathematics of biochemistry and biology, and the essential mystery of consciousness itself, you know, commonly referred to as the hard problem. And through these sort of individual experiences, whilst I've not had anything that you would call typically religious, Jesus emerging out of a tunnel, Ganesh lashing around, or any of that sort of stuff, what I've had is like it's highly bloody interpretive, because say there's this one breath thing I do. You breathe from the abdomen very aggressively, and then you sort of take a sharp inhale, and you're nearly, well, a medical man would say what you're doing there is hyperventilating and nearly passing out. But from the inside, what it feels like is bloody hell. For this moment, I am aware and I am not me. What is this? What is this? Is there a possibility that my awareness, your awareness, the awareness of all animals, and an awareness that's impossible to greed is somehow present in all nature, in all matter. And if that's true, then there's a kind of a genuine cohesion and togetherness between all of the beings of the earth and beyond. And those people that can't actually enjoy the lives that we are privileged to have, of the red wine or the dogs or whatever, like, I'm not saying that's some sort of comfort to them, but in fact, those of us that are in privileged position might feel newly incentivized to work towards a different kind of society and system that is more reflective of those values. Now, that doesn't necessarily require monotheism, pantheism, or any of those things, but it is somewhat underwritten by a kind of a sameness and a oneness, and how that might relate to justice. And also, there is a sort of a personal experience of mystery in it. I wonder what you feel about that, and if you're curious about psychedelics and that, and altered states and that.
I'm going to say it again. You will not get another person of my stature doing this. You won't get any other directors, you won't get stand-ups of my... You won't get Seinfeld doing this shit. He's above it. You won't get directors doing it. Spielberg. Tom Hooper. To name, you would not get you will not get George Clooney doing this. Nothing. No knighthood. People think I'm serious when I go, no fucking knighthood. I liked what Robert Smith, The Cure, said about a knighthood. He went, I don't want an award from the Royal Family. He said, I'm better than you. How dare you give me an award? I've always liked The Cure. Anyway, how have you been? I saw a funny thing on Twitter today. I can't really use it in my stand-up, but it would really be a good jumping off point. So someone without irony was having a go at someone for this book. I read a book, right, that they said promotes fascism. I think it was the thing about free speech. So it's one of those things that, you know, if you're right wing, you're a fascist, right? So that's one thing, right? But what they said in this tweet was, remember, without irony, they said, this book promotes fascism, it should be burned. Is there anything more fascist now? I mean, it's just the word fascist now. It just means someone you don't like, really. Someone who wouldn't let you park there. And a while ago I would have retweeted it or argued, but now you look at their profile and you go, oh, it's just a series of slogans and acronyms and abbreviations. It's the equivalent of like a 15-year-old wearing a jean jacket with 1,000 badges telling you what they like and what they don't. What gets me in some profiles, right, is they have things like, in their profile, they have things like human rights. Yeah? Like, yeah, good. Well, like we're meant to go, what, you're for human rights? That is amazing. That's amazing that you're for human rights. Well done. Well done, mate. Anti-fascist. Really? You're anti-fascist? Well, fucking hell. Are you anti-murder as well? It's like we're meant to go, well, this guy, he's for human rights and he doesn't like murdering people. So, and I look at their little avatar and it's usually a cartoon unicorn with blue hair. And I think, well, if they're anti-fascist and they're human, then I'm going to stop murdering because I want to be just like... Oh, God. It's funny, isn't it? It's a funny old world.
What is it with the modern advertising industry and big corporate companies? Think Jaguar. Think of the E-Type. Think of the powerful logo on the front of the car of Inspector Morse, of a really great British brand. Well, okay, it may now be owned by by the Indians. But have a look at what the modern advertising industry have done. This is the new logo. I don't know what it stands for, do you? And the advert showing some sort of almost non-human figures walking through a door without even showing cars. I'm not quite sure what they're saying or what they want to do. Strikes me as being another Bud Light moment. I predict Jaguar will now go bust. And you know what? They deserve to.
So what the blinking heck is this? It's as though Jaguar asked AI to create the wokest, most pretentious, gender ambiguous piece of self-satisfied A-level art using fridge magnet mottos, and this pile of shite was the result.
Quite nutritional. I don't know where. I mean, I've worn some terrible things, but they were by choice because it was the 80s. I probably worse things in the 70s, in adolescence. But were they bad at the time? Probably not. I mean, I think that you look back and you go, fuck me, look at my hair. But at the time, you probably thought, fucking hell, look at my hair. So I'm not really ashamed of anything I did because you can't be because it's relative to the time. But I have had some fashion atrocities. I bought I think it was a lime green jumpsuit once at a jumble sale. And I thought I'd dye that black. Didn't get around to it. I sort of found it 3 years later. What's the worst thing I've had? I've done all the same things that everyone else had relative to the time. Fucking extensions, dyes, bleaching, all that. Terrible clothes that I wouldn't be seen dead in now. What's the worst? What's the worst thing that I didn't want to wear? Probably something for filming. Oh, I remember I had one day with a beard on a fake beard on the invention of lying. And I had to be fitted. I didn't want to do it every day because that's a fucking pain. That's 3 hours. Fuck that. Even for one day, no. Right? I said we'll fit it and have it made. Right? Cost twice as much, but I didn't want 2 hours in the chair. So they did a mould. They fitted it and they got things right. Then went away and made it, and and then they put it on in 2 pieces on the day. And they said to me, oh, this is real human hair. And I thought, oh, I wish they hadn't told me that, because that just gave me the creeps. So I had it on all day, but I took it off for my lunch, and I had to do it again, because I couldn't bear the idea of the fork going in, touching someone else's fucking beard on the way in. And it just felt horrible. And they kept gluing it and... Yeah, that's the worst thing. Second worst, I didn't enjoy the lemur outfit in the Muppet movie. I was mildly embarrassed. It was a little bit tight. So, yeah. Fucking human hair beard, not mine. Lemur outfit. Those are my 2 worst things.